Hey there guys, Eddie Wang here. Today I brought this video to your attention. Not that it's something that is unknown to the community, but just a thought on what I think about certain moves in MKXL having an amount of Blockstun before we being able to punish it. In order to do that, I need to clear a few things first, so they can't get in the way. First, let's talk about the frame data, which comes input in the game. Like, why can't you punish -11 moves with matching startup frames? There is a reason for that. People have been confusing each other often, not knowing why. Two factors need to be known in order to never confuse yourself with it anymore. The in-game frame data is the in-game true startup frame, but not the execution frames. When you press a button to do whatever you need inside the game, that button press needs one frame to recognize the command. Only then the in-game startup frame is activated. So we need to add +1 to every startup move which is triggered by a button to know what can and cannot punish it via command normal, that is known as factor 1. When you input a reversal special while in Blockstun, the input is buffered and the special move will come out in the game startup with in-game startup frame, since the game registered the input while you were blocking, so it's one frame earlier than regular block punishing. That is known as factor 2. This should make things easier, right? Unfortunately, in Mortal Kombat X, there seems to be some moves that even if they are heavily punishable, there seems to be a required timing which you need to learn in order to know when you do your regular block punishes. They seem abundant across the game and not many people are fan of it. So in order to know how long of these blockstones take place, I need to make a comparative video to know how much of a stun a negative move can induce before you being able to punish them. So as base, I looked for one of the most balanced negative moves in the game, which is a move with literally no block stun. By this I mean hat-tricks callback. To give you guys a visual hint, I performed the callback far away from the opponent in order to give neutral advantage to both characters, and set Kung Lao to jump only when the hat is blocked, with the idea of even a slight of Blockstun was induced to Kung Lao 2, there will be a sort of delay before Kung Lao 2 being able to jump. But as a result, you can see Kung Lao 1 and Kung Lao 2 practically jump at the exact same time right after the callback being blocked, meaning there is in Blockstun which is forces Kung Lao 2 to stay in blocking animation for longer periods of time despite callback being a -7 special move. Now to further test this, I will show you a segment of special moves and a few command normals I've tested along with provides longer blockstun before Kung Lao 1 is able to jump, showing how stuck he gets before the punishing window appears. Note that I use Kung Lao to this example, but the effect produced works the same for any character. As you seen, there is a lot of blockstun before the punishing windows appears in many characters. I haven't tested them all, but it's a true fact about the game. I'm pretty sure I know I have no say into this, but this is honestly the first fighting game where I've been facing this as a game mechanic, and in my opinion, it's not something I think anyone who plays competitively would enjoy, especially when the opponent has clearly already committed a mistake and now you have to time your punishes in order to get your reward. Non-negative moves in fighting games should be allowed to have large amount of pushback, yet either lots of blockstones. It just makes riskier characters safer and deceptive when it comes to punishing, making the game even harder than already is. If there is one thing that I believe most of the community would like to see out of this game, it's definitely this, which in fact can be considered an issue for some. Other things that is contributing to this factor is how the buffer window for special the game has, which blocks some potential factor for certain characters that happens to share their most usable normal with special motions with a certain special moves. When you have moves that are blocked just like that, punishing doesn't become as accurate as it should be. NRS should really test these things through on their future games. A fighting game needs to be responsive as possible in order to provide measured enjoyment from both sides, either from an offense or defense aspect of the fighting game. A balance in between both should always be found. Thank you for your time.